Hello everybody, it's MxRheyRhey and welcome back to my art channel. Today on Watercolor Wednesday, I have a neat little surprise for, well, both of us, because I forgot this. I even bought this until it came in the mail. I decided to treat myself a little while ago because there was a sale at jacksonsart.com, which is a European art store, which also kind of sells to the US limitedly, I guess. But I got their store brand full pan watercolor art set. Well, it's not a set, they were open stock. But I got a primary set of Opera Rose, Cerulean Blue, and Naples Yellow. This was a little treat for myself because I had done so good not buying art supplies and also being really productive in my last month of March. So I decided, you know what, I can be a little nice to myself, and it's like a really good sale. So what you see me doing here in the beginning, after opening up a bit of the package, is they were kind of gonna fall out of their full pans, so I decided to get them just a tiny little drop of water in there so when they dried they stick to the pan. And I specifically got these colors because I like working with the CYM sort of color spectrum rather than the RBG. Yes, okay, I got those right. And I specifically got Opera Rose and Naples Yellow with the Cerulean Blue because I guess if there was a cyan, I should have gotten that instead. But the Cerulean Blue I actually like better. It's like one of my favorite blues. It's very light, but I can turn it dark if I need to with like extra blues to make it more of a primary blue or darker if I ever need it to be. But I specifically, sorry, I got sidetracked. I specifically got this a range of colors because I wanted something that would work well with anything that had a floralness to it, since I'm like, apparently with spring coming, I'm very much into gardening and flowers and fruits and plants and everything. That seems to be my repertoire for this month, and what I'm inspired to paint. So I figured I should I didn't figure I should have a set, but I figured, you know what, it would be really nice if I wanted to paint a flower, I have a go-to set. I wouldn't have to figure out which set of watercolors I should use, because previously the sets that I have are, you know, full giant color set. It makes it a little hard to choose which color you have. With this one, I literally only have 3 colors and I can make whatever colors I need to because these are the primary colors that I have. And real quick, before I go on rambling any further, I just want to remind you all that I do have a Patreon if you want to help support this YouTube channel and everything that I do. What I actually do is I share my artistic journey. I am really only like a little over a year in to wanting to become a professional artist. And so what this channel does is I share my artistic experience and I encourage everyone else to share theirs, because we're all on a journey together and we all learn from each other, no matter what level of artist you are, no matter how long you've been an artist. You can always learn something. You can always learn something from, you can always teach something, and you can always learn something. So that is what my Patreon is for help to support me, encourage that. There are other things on there, but that's like the game side. I'm on art side channel right now. And also, if you like this video, if you like the content that I'm making, please be sure to click all the buttons below that you feel are necessary. Subscribe if you would like. This is pretty much not like reviewing art and paint, but like painting itself, watercolors, urban sketching, abstract art. That's pretty much just what I do. So there, self-promotion is done. That was very awkward for all of us. Now let me just get back to my rambling. I really love this paint set, actually. I specifically got a very bright Opera Rose just because I like using pink rather than red to mix all of my warm tones with. At least specifically with anything like natural or floral. Like, I feel like if I were to have gotten a red, it would have been Illyrian Crimson, and that's just it's a little too dark for nature, in my opinion. For me, anyway, and the things that I want to do. So, what I'm doing now is I'm just sketching the painting that I'm going to be doing. It is a vase with 2 tulips in it. Tulips that I always felt when I was a child and we were encouraged to draw flowers and everything, I would always do tulips in whatever color I wanted. I feel like tulips are a very fun flower to paint with. So it could just be like a blue tulip sounds ridiculous, but blue tulips would be amazing to have in like a garden or in your house. Like, they would just be like, oh my god, tulips and they're blue, how unique. But no, I'm not making blue tulips this time. Sorry, I'm also trying to get comfortable. I fidget a lot. I have a fidget toy in my hand that's trying to be silent. Yes, I'm gonna ramble now. I know I already said how much I like the paint. I don't have anything else to add besides the fact that, hey, there was a sale on this website a month ago from when you're watching this, and I decided to treat myself because I had been a really good person for the rest of the year and hadn't bought any outlandish art supplies. And so I figured, okay, one more like little primary set for yourself. It's not bad, especially since it was like a really good sale. I'm not an affiliate with Jackson Art, by the way. I just like to browse their website every once in a while. I am an affiliate with Michaels and Blix. The sketching pencils that I'm using right now is an Artist Loft sketching pencil. It is actually, I think, either 3 or 4H. Pretty much every other art supply that I'm using besides the paint, I either made myself via the palette, or I got from Michaels. So if you want to check down in the description for the affiliate links in there, I do get like a 10% commission, and it doesn't affect you at all. It just make the purchase like within the day that you click the link, and that's pretty much it. Like, affiliate links don't really like harm the customer, they just kind of help me and the people I am affiliate with. Sorry, I said self-promotion was over and I lied. I do that sometimes, but unintentionally. So, what am I gonna ramble about today, guys? I don't want to be like all like philosophical and psychological and everything, because that's usually my MO. I don't know, I do a lot of personal introspection, and so I end up talking about like my feelings and like thoughts on life a lot, and that can get really boring sometimes. But I don't really have much of a life since 2020 happened. I can't really blame 2020 actually, because I've never had a life. As soon as I graduated high school, which was a decade ago, I was just like, I guess I don't have friends anymore. Because, like, I didn't talk to anybody. It's, okay, life story over. I have a very hard time being social with people outside of immediate family. It's a problem. I'm working on it. But because of that, I do a lot of introspection. I've learned a lot of things about myself just talking to myself. Sometimes that's not the greatest thing of all, because I get very existential, and I try not to think about it, but then not thinking about it makes you think about it more. So, here's the thing that I've been going through. If you didn't notice, I missed a video last week, and I did that because apparently I needed a break. And I didn't realize I needed a break until I realized after my break that I had taken a break. Fun life with ADHD. And it feels like that's the thing I'm probably going to be talking about all year, is me trying to get myself diagnosed with ADHD, the process of it all, how I'm like going through the stages of grief, but then like the reverse stages of grief. I was just thinking about this while I was editing this, so I'm probably going to be talking about it now from the voiceover. I feel like this last week I have been going through a reverse stage of grief because when you live with undiagnosed ADHD, it's so weird because you're like, yeah, no, I accept that I probably have ADHD, and they're like, I can't do anything about it right now. I'm just gonna try try my best in life and work with what I have and fix what comes up to me when it comes up. And like, it's really weird because then you accept it and then something you probably don't even notice happens, and like you go from acceptance up to like stage 4, which is like depression or something like that, and you're like and then like once you realize you're in that stage, you get angry. So you go back up to like the 3rd stage, which I believe is anger, but like you're like, gosh dang it, why did this do, and blah blah blah, and like you have to be angry that like you fell back into the trap of, you know, why you of like you fell back in, because at this point when you realize that you probably have undiagnosed ADHD, you've been through like so many other stages and trying to figure everything out, like why am I like this and blah blah blah, everyone else is doing this, and like once you realize it and you finally like the first acceptance, you're like, oh okay, so this is what that was. If you do introspection like I do, which is like all the time 24/7, you can't not think about it. And so once you finally stop thinking about it and you can like distract yourself with everything else, and then something happens and it rears back into your head, and then you notice that you've been doing this, you're like, gosh dang it. So that you go back to like anger. And then, oh gosh, I can't remember the 2nd stage. There we go. Saved in my Google search history. Stages. It's really weird. There's always like 5 to 7, and no, okay, so yeah. There we go. So bargaining is supposed to be in between depression and anger. Sometimes you bargain with yourself. You're like, okay, well, I have to do something about this. So if I do this, then I can do this, you know? Like it's an if-then statement. If I can do this today, then I will go to bed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and just sleep until noon tomorrow. You know, that sort of deal. And then I guess, yes, you get angry with yourself because, oh my gosh, I can't believe I fell into this trap again. I should have known better. I should have been paying more attention. I should have been on top of myself. And you kind of beat yourself up with all of the things that you know you do but you can't help doing, and then you like are in denial, like, well, okay, I keep going through this, I haven't done anything about it, maybe I don't take myself seriously, maybe I don't have ADHD, and blah blah blah. And so that goes back to the denial stage, and it's weird because you're like, oh, I mean, I've been like this all this time, I haven't died yet, maybe I don't have ADHD, maybe it's something else, or maybe I'm just dumb and I need to get my life and shit together. And you start to doubt yourself, and then something happens and you're like, oh my god, no, okay, yeah, no, it's definitely ADHD, which I think is the shock. I think the first stage for everything, for all of these little images I'm seeing on Google Images, is shock is the first stage of the stages of grief. And you're just like shocked because you were right all along, it really is your ADHD. Or whatever other developmental mental state you have. It could be any of those. And you're like, okay, right, so it's this. And then you realize, okay, I've been a little too hard on myself. Let me remember what all of these tools I gave myself to work with and everything. And you start to accept that, yes, it is the ADHD. This is what you need to be doing. This, and you start working with yourself again on how to deal with what you have until you can get actual help. I'm back on that shock acceptance stage of my reverse grief right now, because that's what apparently I was going through all last week, and that's why I missed not just this channel but my last channel. So that was my week. How was yours? Please let me know down in the comments below. I hope it went better than mine, but if not, feel free to vent. I don't judge, obviously, because I have a bit of a filter on here, but a lot of this is really just me venting to a microphone and hoping it's relatable to other people while they watch me paint tulips in a very abstract, no lines, full raw kind of way. look, okay, so I haven't watched my monitor since I've been talking. I've just been playing with my fidget toy, and I'm looking back at it, at my tulips, and obviously this isn't the first time I've seen the tulips. I had to paint them, I had to look at them all the time while I was editing, and now I'm looking at them while I'm doing the voiceover to make sure I'm not like going off track too much, even though I'm also rambling. And like, I'm getting really good at layering my watercolors. That was my problem at the beginning of this kind of like artistic journey that I'm doing. If you look back to some of my first videos, especially with gouache, I have a horrible time being patient with layering because I'm just so excited to like paint and get everything down that I'm just like, oh, okay, I know the next stage, I just want to do it now. And so like, I don't know, I'm realizing that while I'm waiting for one thing to paint, I can go over and do something else, so it's not just like I'm focusing on one corner at a time. It's really nice. I kind of like this. I know what's gonna happen next, and I feel like it's good, but if I had kept it like this and very abstract and like no lines, it could have been okay. I think it was the purple and pink tulip on the left that made me realize I needed to probably put like sketch outlines, not sketch, but like ink lines? I ink this one, and it was definitely the pink and purple tulip that made me realize, okay, if I don't put in lines, I'm not going to realize what part of the tulip that is anywhere. And then I realized if I do one, I have to do it all because then it's inconsistent. I also don't know what I'm doing with the glass of the vase. I realize some of it is like, oh, well, if it's a thick glass, there's like that weird greenish, dark bluish greenish clear color to like when you're trying to look inside the glass. And I think I captured that part pretty well. I'm hoping I am. I didn't look at anything. I don't have a reference for this except for what do tulips look like. But I think I did pretty well overall. I will say the refraction in the tulips was completely by accident, but I'm glad I did because it gives it a I'm like towing the line between realistic and abstract with this one, and I think that's probably where I feel like it falls a little bit. Maybe. I think it's good to critique your artwork every once in a while, as long as you're doing it constructively and you're not just saying, oh no, this is bad, I'm trash at this, I should never draw again, I can't even I don't even know what I did wrong. Okay, so I, like many people, was a fan of artists and fan artists before I decided, hey, I shouldn't be down on myself. If I want to draw, I should draw or paint or whatever anything like that. And so the reason you are so hard on yourself is because you can see the stage of art that other people are at, and you can tell that there is a difference. But what you shouldn't get discouraged about is the fact that there is a difference, you know? Like, this, obviously, compared to some of the people I follow on Instagram, is vastly different. And if I were to compare myself to everyone, that would be like detrimental, you know? Like, it would be instead of counting your chickens before they hatch, it would be throwing the hen before she lays eggs. If that's a good enough analogy, metaphor. I didn't do well in English because I just didn't do well in English. They didn't explain the why, they just explained how. But yeah, so I feel like even though I do have a problem with my art style and like how I'm learning to be very inconsistent, you can tell with some of the other ones that, like, I don't know, there are times where I'm like really proud of the work that I do, and there are times where like, well, it's a thing and I can learn from it. But that's always what I say. I can always learn from something, you know? It's not bad. You can definitely tell that they're flowers even without all of the line work that I did. So I feel like that is a win. What I feel like I could have done better is maybe the detailing on the pink and purple tulip, you know? Like, actually make it look like tulip Like even with the yellow and pink one, which is an actual color of tulip, you can tell that it's a flower, and you can tell that it's a tulip that is opening up itself. And the purple one, I'm just like, it's a tulip. So definitely, it's not a bad tulip. It's really not. I just wanted to be funky with the colors, and I was getting kind of mad that anytime I add blue to like the green or anything, or like the purple, the blue would sink into its pool, its color pool. So like you can tell in that little top left corner, that's supposed to be like gray or something. But right now all you see is an orangey pink because the blue pigment is just sinking to the bottom of all of the water, and you have to keep stirring it in order to, you know, get a more grayish color, which actually kind of turnish purple. So I guess that works because it would just mirror sort of the colors that were around it, and there's purple and pink tulips in the glass, so I guess that doesn't do too bad. But yeah, so now I'm pretty much just doing the background because I didn't feel like I didn't want to stop painting, and I was like, well, gosh darn it, I'm all done with the flowers, so I guess I'll just do a really easy background because I didn't want to stop painting. And yeah, I don't know. I have nothing really else to say. I've done the rambling I could for today. It's nice and easy. If you do like my tulips and you have other constructive criticism to say, I'm only emphasizing constructive because we are on YouTube. Please let me know. I would love any kind of feedback. If you have tips or people for me to check out to see if I can reference and learn something else from, please let me know. I am always willing to learn. If you like what I'm doing, please let me know. Check out any of the links I have in my description below. They're everywhere I go and everything I do. It's pretty simple that way. Yeah, I'm just gonna go now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video because I'm running out of things to say. So thank you so much for watching up until this point. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next video. Have a wonderful life.